So a couple of years ago, a group of young people called me and they wanted to meet at a shopping mall someplace on the west side. They said something exciting happened, but yet it was really scary and really terrifying. And so I went, met them at the food court, and indeed, they were excited to talk about it, but they were terrified of it at the same time. And what they told me was that they had discovered a different way to play the Ouija board. And of course, when they said that, I'm like, oh my God, here we go. And they said the method was, instead of using the triangular planchette, they used a cell phone. And what they claimed is, as they played the Ouija board and asked the questions, they all had their fingers on the cell phone, and as it moved to the letter, which was supposed to be the answer to the question, the letters, the answer would show up as a text message on the cell phone. So I said, oh, that's pretty interesting. And so they told me they went to a cemetery that has a huge banyan tree in the middle of it, and that they sat outside the cemetery, stroke of midnight, and played the Ouija board with the cell phone. The first question they asked is, how are we going to die? And the cell phone spells out M-U-R-D-E-R, murder. They're kind of freaked out, looking at each other very nervously. And the next question they asked was, how is this murder going to happen? I mean, this is kind of weird. Are we all going to be murdered one by one, or what? And then immediately the cell phone spells out T-O-G-E-T-H-E-R. In the text message, it shows up together. And so now it's indicating that they're going to die by murder together. But are they going to murder each other, or is it going to be individually, or at separate times? And so the next question is, right, we're confused as to how this murder of us is supposed to happen together. And then in the middle of these excited questions, the cell phone moves and spells out S-E-P-O-R. And so now they're perplexed, and they're repeating the word that appears as a text message on the cell phone to each other. Sapor? Sapor, what does that mean? Is that a Filipino word? What does that mean? Sapor? Sapor? And so because they figured it out, couldn't figure it out, that's the reason they called me. And so I asked the head of the group, the young man, I said, do you have that cell phone with you? And he reaches in his bag and he shows it to me. It's an old Nokia cell phone. I said, do you have that message on it? And he shows it to me, and there it is. The text message, S-E-P-O-R. I stood up, and I started to walk away, and I turned around and looked at him. I said, come on, follow me. And so we walked through the food court, down the hallway, past the old fast food place, and I'm walking into the men's bathroom, and the guys are following me. The women sort of hesitate, and I look at them, I says, look, come on, come in. Let's just come in, don't worry about it. And so we get into the bathroom, I'm standing in front of the mirror, everybody's standing behind me, and I said, gather closely. And I take the cell phone with a text message on it, and I hold it up to the mirror. And now, S-E-P-O-R, Sapor, in the reflection of the mirror, is ropes. They all scream bloody murder. Some back up against the wall, hiding their faces like this. The girls, hysterical, don't know what to do. Me, I chuckle. I kind of laugh. The leader of the group says, don't you see the state that we're in? We're freaked out. How can you laugh? I said, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the irony of the whole thing. That big banyan tree in the middle of that cemetery where you guys were sitting and playing this Ouija board game with a cell phone, that's a place where back in the 1800s they used to hang criminals. I said, if you notice, no animals in the area go near that cemetery. So for those of you out there who are listening to this and are sort of twisted in your thoughts and you're contemplating attempting this thing with a cell phone and a Ouija board, let me know how it turns out, if you survive.